Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. In the last episode, we returned to Skyhold to get everything settled before we get started on the next main mission. We have to sort out our inventory, make sure we have our bees and healing mist fully replenished, and we want to do another round of companion talks. I'm still umming and ahhing over whether or not I want to try and take out the Vinsoma, but once we've got all that settled, we will be ready to make a start on Here Lies the Abyss. I am very excited. Now, first things first, let's oh. Yeah, that is quite the point. That is quite the point, sir. But yeah, let's make sure that everyone has a full roster of potions. Doreen, you're fine. Oh, wait. Blackwall, have some healing mist. Okay, Solas. I'd assume Varric, yeah. From the Abyssal High Dragon. Okay, yep, that's all good. And anything that can be upgraded. Wahey! Fully upgrading healing potion. Very nice. And I don't think we're able to upgrade the grenades. No, we need way more Vandalarias. And a few more Blood Lotus, okay. Got it. Good to know, though. Alrighty then. Now, as always, I'm a cut through sorting out my inventory, so be right back. Alrighty then, and I am back, and everything is properly sorted. Everyone's accessories are all done and dusted. I think the most major change would have been to Vivienne, who is looking very fancy. Right now, when we get to her... Blackwall, I don't think I really changed much of anything with Blackwall. I think I gave him a better ring, though. Oh, I also... Cowl is looking very sparkly now. Yeah, I forgot about that. We can't let Cowl walk around looking like this for very long. It just doesn't look right. It looks right on Sarah, not on Cowl, especially not in those pants. He looks a wee bit like a strange-ass clown. Vivienne, looking very spiffy. Look at her. Love it. And, Solas, we need to find you a better hat. I've actually upgraded Varric's armor for the first time in quite a while. And there's the Iron Bull. Good stuff. Lovely jubbly. All of that is done and dusted. My inventory is clear. Now then. Ooh, it's the beginning of an episode. I should sort out the war table first and foremost. Because we do have a lot of quests to go on. And I do want to try and get them all done. So people, come forth. Also, I do apologise if you hear any kind of... odd pitter-patter noises. It's raining quite heavily outside. Okay, oh, there we go. I was like, I swear I had 3 going. Yeah, okay. Support from Navarra. A letter delivered to Skyhold. It was a pleasure meeting with your representatives. We are happy to lend the Inquisition our support. Tyrion Veneto, on behalf of Her Grace, Duchess Amalia. Lovely. Dwarven slaves in Venatori hands. A report has arrived from the site of the suspected Venatori enclave. It is nonsensical given accepted historical record. Located Venatori enclave. Fires on approach. Assumed they torched their camp while retreating. Not the case. Camp already destroyed. Venatori dead. Dwarven tools found, but no dwarves, alive or dead. 1 Deepstalker corpse found. Signs of blight corruption. Best guess, Venatori surprised by forces emerging from the camp well. Assume they left the same way. Well collapsed. No passage possible. Enclave scoured for resources for return to Skyhold. On return to Inquisition camp, message found next to a newly opened sinkhole. We always come for our own. What about you, Inquisition? Binthus Warhelm KallistaPlays. Oh. I love that. I love that. In conjunction with the first line, just, oh, it's nonsensical given accepted historical record. Yeah, historical record can be wrong. I said very early on in my Let's Play of Origins that I didn't like how Orzammar was treating KallistaPlays. You know, oh, we have rediscovered you. You will bend the knee to Orzammar. And it's like, well, of course they're not. These people have been living on their own, you know, battling the Darkspawn with absolutely no support from either, you know, Orzammar or the surface, bearing in mind that most people thought that KallistaPlays was gone, dead and buried, so they have been fighting on their own with no support. Like hell they are ever gonna bend the knee. They have ways and customs and cultures that are going to be way more foreign than the dwarves in Orzammar could ever recognize or realize, and here we have the proof of that. Opening up sinkholes and burying up through wells, just being like, yeah, well, you're safe, friends. Come down with us. Oh, I love it. Love it so much. Secure a source of water for the outposts. Inquisitor. Our soldiers in the western approach located a suitable freshwater source. They faced some resistance from a particularly aggressive wyvern, but were able to let's try that again. They faced some resistance from a particularly aggressive wyvern, but were able to subdue the threat and secure the area. I'm told that Lieutenant Core, in particular, should be commended for his quick response. As you can imagine, their success has raised morale among our followers in the western approach. Colin, I do apologise for the tongue fumbles. I'm really rather hungry. I'm recording this just before I eat my dinner, so yeah. If you hear any grumbles, that would be my belly. Yeah, deal with the angry Vargas. Oh lord, of course the wildlife is pissed. Of course it is. Now then, I'ma sort out where I'm sending everyone. Be right back. Alrighty then, and I am back. Considering we've spent so much of our time in Orlais, I think it's high time we returned to the Ferelden side of the war table. First things first, restore the port on the Storm Coast. Your worship. The Red Templars' holdings on the Storm Coast were once a working port. If you would turn it to your own use, we may be able to resist. Ivor of the Blades. A note penned below in a different hand. We can hardly expect a bustling trade centre, but since we've established a presence in both Ferelden and Orlais, direct access to the Waking Sea could prove useful. Of course, the Blades of Hessarian will refuse to help unless word comes from the Herald of Andraste. Josephine. Josephine suggests I can arrange for additional assistance from nearby cities, and Cullen says we can send some of our workers to assist the Blades of Hessarian. Again, Aenor prefers to get stuff done herself, so we'll send our own workers.
To work?
Next up, deploy Reese and Evangeline. Inquisitor. We have recovered from our wounds and are ready to serve the Inquisition as you see fit. Evangeline has friends among the Orlesian nobility who may listen to our cause, and I am familiar with several caches used by the rebel mages. Or, if you prefer, we would be honoured to join the Inquisition troops near Val Fermin and fight the forces of Corypheus as best we can. Yours in service, Reese and Evangeline. Josephine says a passionate warrior coming from a good family might bring the Inquisition a great deal of gold. Liliana says the caches Reese speaks of might yield something of value. And Colin says an experienced Templar and a powerful mage would greatly increase our military strength near Val Fermin. This is tempting, however, considering these are Cowl's friends, I don't think that Aenor would be all too eager to put them in harm's way. We don't really have any need of gold, so we might as well get some resources.
Inquisitor.
And next we head up towards the Free Marches. Investigate Lord Enzo of Antiva. A report from Antiva delivered to Liliana. The Venatori are smuggling red lyrium into Antiva, but thus far they have evaded our grasp. We believe Lord Enzo of Rialto is assisting them. Enzo is clever, well-liked, and has relations among Antivan royalty. If we approach him without proof, he will bury his tracks and turn his allies against us. We must handle this carefully. Mason. Colin was not participating. Liliana would have suggested, Lord Enzo attends the theatre on the same night each week. His home is empty, save a few servants during that time. My agents could pay a visit. And Josephine says, I have a cousin in Rialto. If she threw a soiree and invited Lord Enzo, his house would be clear for Liliana's agents. Yes.
Inquisitor?
I mean, Josephine has mentioned Rialto a couple of times. If she knows the area, then I think she's probably best suited to do the job. Lovely. Okay, back to my timer. Now then, let's start off with Josephine. She is closest, after all. Hello, my dear.
It's good to see you.
And anything to report?
What do the people make of us?
There's scarcely a noble house that hasn't openly pledged its support to us.
Hey, good stuff.
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Lord Nadovino of Antiva, a friend of my family not normally given to politics.
How did you get him to support the Inquisition?
Antivan are touched by worthy deeds, Inquisitor. I impressed him with the rightness of our cause. I also promised him 40 bottles from our wine cellar. He's had his eye on the Tevinter ports for years.
I love that. We impressed him with the rightness of our cause. Also, we bribed him with alcohol. Oh, Josephine.
Yes?
I love it.
What do the people make of us?
Yeah, we can...
There's scarcely a
skip
noble
that.
house that hasn't openly pledged its support to us.
Yeah, but how are our allies doing?
Any thoughts on the people here?
Who did you mean?
It's been a while. Let's go through.
What do you think of Sir Blackwall?
Sir Blackwall seems as loyal to the purpose of the Inquisition as he is to the Wardens. His travels must have taken him strange places. I wish he'd speak more about them.
He does seem very cagey about his past.
The Iron Bull has had to have made an impression.
He is a loud, unapologetic accident merely waiting to happen. I do wish he'd stop daring poor dignitaries to outdrink him.
He won't, though. You know he won't.
I was thinking of Cassandra.
Seeker Pentagast is a princess of the Kingdom of Nevada, although that barely seems important to her. She was not interested when I asked if we might make use of her royal relations. Still, the Inquisition would not have formed without Cassandra. She's an extraordinarily driven woman.
And Cullen?
Commander Cullen came to mind.
The commander is an intelligent, cautious man. I'm grateful he's in charge of our standing army. Still, he does sometimes resemble the man with a hammer to whom everything appears as a nail.
That is true, but he does have fabulous hair. Excuse me, Solas. There we go.
What's your impression of Solas?
I suppose I should be wary of an apostate, but our elven mage has conducted himself with the utmost propriety. And he has the most fascinating stories.
That he does. And how classy of Josephine not to bring up the fact that, I've noticed you're in a relationship.
What do you think of Vivienne?
We've met a few times before at court. She remains a truly accomplished player of the game. So long as her interests align with yours, Madame Vivienne will be a most valuable ally. Just do keep her on your good side, Inquisitor.
I love that. I love that everyone is just like, as long as her interests align with yours, and she's on your, you're on her good side, everything will be fine, but I'd be a bit wary if that were to change.
You must have an opinion of Dorian.
Who hasn't? The man could cause a scene standing quietly in the center of an empty room. Still, I do believe he has your best interests at heart, for all that he delights in mocking them from time to time.
Dorian is wonderful. Yes, he's a sassy bitch, but he's wonderful.
I'd love to know how you and Sarah get along.
I know she extracts gossip from the servants. and she keeps prying into things. Sarah's ability to vanish whenever her mischief's discovered must come in handy, however, I'm sure.
No doubt about that.
I was thinking of Varric.
Oh, I could listen to his tales for hours. He actually let me read a chapter of his next book he's writing. My friends would be sick with envy if they knew. It's excellent, but a bit different from his past works. Only 3 beheadings so far.
Only 3? My goodness. Don't let Cassandra know that you've read the next chapter. If it was Swords and Shields, she will, she'll blow an absolute gasket.
Cowl, actually.
Who? Oh, wait, you mean the quiet young man? How strange. I'm sure we must have talked, yet I can't recall what we discussed.
Oh, that makes me sad. Everyone should know Cowl. Everyone should know my adopted son.
Let's speak later.
Goodbye.
Still, I think it's rather sweet that, he's only letting the sort of core group of companions remember him. I don't think he's allowing Josephine, Cullen, or Liliana to remember him too much, but still, their lives would be improved because Cowl is wonderful.
Inquisitor.
Hello there.
Need something? Or are you just here to admire the dwarf?
Oh, I'm always here to admire the dwarf.
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
Thanks, Varric.
No problem.
I swear, I have in my head that a few people will have cutscenes, but I just can't remember which.
Need something? Or are you just here to admire the dwarf?
To be fair, Varric gets a lot of cutscenes after Here Lies the Abyss.
I read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
Okay, nothing there.
Carry on.
And I doubt there'll be anything new under the Red Lyrium branch, but I'll just check.
Need something? Or are you just here to admire the dwarf?
I want to know more about Red Lyrium.
I'll tell you what I can.
Okay.
I think that's enough on Red Lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject.
Okie doke. Well, prepare yourself, Varric. Prepare yourself for what comes next.
We must stop the Wardens from carrying out this insane plan, Inquisitor. To seek out these old gods deliberately in some bizarre attempt to preempt the Blight.
We'll stop them, I promise. It was a good idea. Don't forget the demons. They obsess over Darkspawn. Oh. Here's the thing. I don't think Aenor would say it was a good idea because the good idea involved killing Grey Wardens. And Aenor, I've said this before, Aenor isn't anti-blood magic. It's magic. It's no more dangerous than a fireball. It all depends on how it's used. So it's not that she's like, I can't believe they were using blood magic. It's more so, I can't believe they were using blood magic to the extent that they were killing one another. If they were just like, oh, we're summoning demons by slicing open our wrists and doing it that way, then I don't think she'd have so much of a problem with it. But because Grey Wardens are dying, that's what she can't understand. So I don't think she'd ever call that a good idea. And now really isn't the time for joke. Here's the thing, this is a very serious topic. I don't know if she'd be flirting at a time like this. I don't think she'd be joking either. And here's the thing, they obsess over Darkspawn, but in Aenor's mind, quite rightly. Like, this is the group that has dedicated themselves to wiping out the Darkspawn. We shouldn't mock them for that. They keep everyone safe, so none of these sound like Aenor, which means I guess I have to go for the flirt.
They won't succeed. We're going to stop them together.
Thank you. I've been on my own for so long. It's difficult to get used to having the support of others. Those fools and duty. Responsibility is not expertise. Action is not inherently superior to inaction. Forgive me. The entire idea is unnerving.
the fact that Solas finds it unnerving is odd. The fact that he's so distressed that, like, oh no, we absolutely cannot do this. I just dinged my mic. My apologies if you heard that. I think I've mentioned this before. You know, my theory, the archdemons and the elven gods are one and the same. Their conscious is trapped in the Fade. Their physical bodies are trapped in the Deep Roads in the forms of dragons. I wonder if killing an archdemon, if it doesn't have the desired effect. How do I put this? If killing the archdemon, if killing the physical body of an elven god, if my theory is correct, of course, I wonder if that grants the consciousness in the Fade more freedom. So if all of the archdemons are dead, then you've basically just freed all of the elven gods. And potentially, you know, hey, we got screwed over, and the world is no longer how it was when we were last there. We should all work together. Because fuck this. It's a theory.
My heart.
Oh! You tell me of your journeys.
I'd like to hear more about what you saw in your exploration of the Fade.
I would be happy to share it with you.
Hey, tell me about Small Ruins.
Tell me about the old ruins you explored.
I found in the Gokari wilds a humble cottage far removed from any of the simple, chastened tribesmen. The trees and weeds had not reclaimed the home, nor did the chastened dare to come and steal the trinkets still remaining. It was empty, long abandoned, but the world feared that you might return.
Flemeth. Nice.
Tell me about a spirit you encountered.
I found an ancient spirit who had once been undisputed king of almost every land I had discovered. Like pride or rage, it was the Fade's reflection of a feeling. When I asked which one it was, the spirit faltered. "They've forgotten," said the spirit. "There remains no word for what I was."
Tell me about the old memories you found in the Fade.
I saw a young Qunari working in a simple kitchen, baking bread as she was ordered every morning. In every loaf, she broke the rules. She'd take a pinch of sugar and fold it into the center, like a secret. And this act of small rebellion brought a shining smile across her face.
Nice.
We'll talk later.
Dareth Shirar.
Very nice. I do like those stories that Solas tells. They didn't have to add something like that, but I'm very glad they did.
Here we are.
And apparently we don't have anything to discuss.
I should go.
You know where I'll be.
Oh, sad times. I do like chatting with Dorian. And we have nothing to turn in. So, Liliana, how you doing, darling? Excuse me.
So Varric knew where the champion was all along. That's the last time we sent Cassandra to interrogate.
Damn! I mean, I was gonna argue that point, but she's not exactly wrong. Cassandra says it herself. Varric spun his story and I believed him. Would Liliana have been any more inclined to believe? To be honest, Liliana plays the game. I think at the very least she would have said, okay, that's an interesting story. I'm gonna go and fact check it, compared to Cassandra, who took it at face value. Okay, yeah, we're not asking that. That's still just the question of, were you and Justinia fucking, and it's none of Aenor's business.
Anything I should know?
Our agent stationed near Adamant reports strange sounds. Curious lights around the fortress. At least 2 scouts have gone missing. We must make our move, and quickly.
Oh, well, that's not good. That is really not good.
I'll leave you to your work.
Anything else? Excuse, don't...
Inquisitor?
That was weird, but okay. Okay, yeah. Good stuff.
I'll leave you to your work.
Next up, Vivienne. Again, I can't remember when Vivienne's next cutscene is. I can remember what it is, but just not when. Aha!
I expected ruins.
They were.
As you see, the Inquisition has not been idle.
Would it be possible to meet the Herald before we return to Ghislaine?
My dear Laurent, for you, anything. Allow me to present Inquisitor Llewellyn.
Your worship, you do us great honor.
Inquisitor, this is my dear Bastien's sister, Grand Cleric Marceline, and his son, Duke Laurent of the Council of Heralds.
Madame de Fer has told us what great trials you faced, trying to save my poor brother's life.
The Maker called my father to his side. It was valiant of you to champion him in his final hours.
Oh, I wish I'd done more. It was just a Wyvern. Tell me what you've heard. These are people in grieving. Again, let's not joke. Let's not, toot our own horn. Yeah, I wish we'd actually been able to save your father, sir.
If only I'd been able to save Bastien.
The Circle of Magi told Bastien many years ago that his illness was incurable. It was simply his time.
Would you mind waiting for me in the chapel, my dears? The Inquisitor and I have business to discuss.
It has been our very great pleasure, Herald.
This has been quite the triumph, hasn't it? They just adore you.
I really like seeing Vivienne interacting with Bastien's family. Again, if you look at Vivienne and Bastien's relationship with a modern eye, like, oh, she's his dirty little secret and they're cheating, but no, she knows his son, she knows his sister, she knew his wife. Presumably, she knew his wife's lover. She was a member of the family whom they clearly liked. Again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I dislike when people apply a modern perspective to Vivienne without actually looking at what the game is saying. Okay, no, this is what's going on. It's not that they're having an affair. It's that basically Bastien and his wife had an open marriage. They were both free to find other lovers and, just chill out with them because they were not in a loving marriage. They were in a political arrangement, which is very different. Like I said, I don't like it when it's, oh no, I think they're cheating and my viewpoint trumps what the game is saying to be true. I dislike that immensely. They seem very nice. How is this a triumph? Why are they here? You told them about me. Ooh. I presume they're here to visit Vivienne. She's the one dealing with Bastien's illness. Also, the other thing that we learned, Bastien had apparently been sick for some time. Again, if Vivienne and his relationship had been one of, oh, I fuck you and I get power, there is no actual feelings on my end. If that had been true, Vivienne wouldn't have stuck around. She stuck around to try and help him up until his dying day. She was trying to cure him. That is not the actions of someone who is completely, she doesn't care about him at all. And yes, you can argue the point of, oh, she didn't want to give up her power. At this point in her career, Vivienne has her own power. She isn't relying on Bastien's power. She could have just let him slip away, but no, I think it's so obvious that she actually does love him, that she cares about him. This may have started out as like an arrangement, power for sex, but now it is so much more than that. Yeah, as I was saying, they're probably here to visit Vivienne. You told them about me. We're the Herald of Andraste. They probably asked. I do prefer the curious ones. They do seem very nice, but it doesn't feel like Aenor to me. I think she'd be more curious, like, what are you planning, Vivienne? Aenor likes Vivienne a lot, but she also understands this is Vivienne has her own schemes. Vivienne is off doing her own thing. So yeah, the fact that she's calling it a triumph, I think that would pique Aenor's interest.
We failed to save Bastien, and you're showing his grieving relatives around Skyhold. How is this a triumph?
We did all we could for my darling Bastien, and the family knows that. Laurent is a dear, almost as pious as his aunt, and new to a seat of great power in the Empire. And Marceline is one of the strongest voices among the Grand Clerics. Now they will both come to us for advice. The Inquisition is truly a power now, and there's no telling how far its influence will reach. But enough of this talk. Here, I have something for you. I commissioned this ring from the Formari, the greatest enchanters in all Thedas, for you.
Thank you. There has to be a catch. I have lots of rings. So I will say, I don't believe this will happen if you have low friendship with Vivienne. I think the cutscene ends with her basically being like, what does she say? It's basically, it's not a case of they'll come to us. It's they'll come to me. She's not including the Herald in this arrangement. She's basically like, oh, you played your part very well. Now I have the ear of another council member and a prominent Grand Cleric. So thank you, Inquisitor. Fuck you. Whereas, you know, because we're friends, she's like, oh, they'll listen to us both. Also, I got you a gift. Ooh. I do think Aenor is probably thinking this, but I don't think she'd say it. That's the problem. I don't think she'd say it. I think she'd just be gracious.
This is a generous gift. Thank you, Vivienne.
Once it was customary for the circles to craft enchantments for their staunchest friends and allies. And you have been both. I must go to see my guests now. Another time, darling.
Oh, Vivienne. Oh, I love you so much. You're a raging bitch, but you're my raging bitch. And so much more than that. She's not just a raging bitch. Oh, there goes my timer. Give me a minute. Let me just hop back round to her, because she might have more to say. There we go. Alrighty then, in the next episode we continue with our companion chats, but until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista, thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.